Okay, okay. All right, let's get started, inshallah. Bismillah, tawakkaltu ala Allah. Bismillah. So, may Allah open up our hearts and our minds to really connect with our du'as today. And the intention today is to kind of fully write out our du'a list so that you're ready and prepared for the last 10 days. That way, you don't really scramble to figure out what to say, and it's just easier to just get it done now. And I was gonna sit down and just do it for myself, but I was like, you know what? Let me just do it with the whole group. So I'm gonna be doing all this with you guys as we're going along. We're gonna like say the category and write down everything you want. Okay. So before we do that, I kind of want to give kind of like a little tiny talk just to kind of get you all in the zone of what it means to make dua. Because what tends to happen is the way our brains work is it is constantly recording and making meaning of things as you go about your life. Everything you do subconsciously, it is recording what you're noticing and it's making meaning out of things. Okay. So when you were a child, you would ask things and you would ask for candy. You would either get it or you don't. And sometimes over time, when you don't get that candy you want, you would make it mean that you're not loved. And so then you kind of over time learned to not ask for too much because you realize like, well, it's every time I ask, I just feel like I'm not loved. So why would I ask? And that is kind of what happens as we get older and we grow up and we realize that, oh, we do the same thing with Allah sometimes. There are deep, deep desires that you have kind of shoved down that you know about them, but you've kind of shoved it down and dismissed it because you're too afraid to be disappointed to ask. You're afraid to be you're afraid to like see what it means if you don't get it. You're afraid to see what it means if you do ask. There's so much meaning behind all of it that even if it's not conscious, it's subconscious. And the goal of asking for dua is to have a beautiful relationship with Allah where you're kind of like a child in the candy store, just asking, asking, asking. Even if you don't get it, you're just like, okay, and then you just keep asking. Why? Because the sweetness in asking Allah is the sweetest thing you can ever experience. And you'll get to a point where even if you don't get it, you're like, yeah, Allah, I'm just so happy I get to ask you. Like I get to be a worshiper of yours and I just get to ask things and you become this little child inside again. You've become alive is the word. And most of the time, most of us, I mean, I have a lot of moments where I just feel kind of like that part of me comes back where it just feels like this like numbed out, disappointed version of me. Just, well, I don't want to ask because it's not going to work anyway. So what's the point of asking? Again, subconsciously. And because if we don't notice it and if we're not conscious of it, it'll take over and you won't ask and you can't even access this ability that Allah has power because subconsciously you're like, okay, he has power, but where is it? Because I don't see it, right? That's what the subconscious mind records sometimes. Again, you want to see it as more of a it's just kind of like in the background, just taking note, understanding, trying to make meaning of the world, even if you consciously get it, even if you consciously understand, oh yeah, like obviously when I ask for something and I don't get it, that means Allah has ultimate wisdom and He meant it for me to get it another time, and all of that's great. But subconsciously, you might not be on board with that. You might still be like really like down about it, and so it's okay that you are, right? And it's more about when you recognize it. It's a whole new world that opens up. And so first, I just want to start off with understanding like the things that we need. And inshallah, after I kind of do a little talk, I'm gonna ask you a bunch of questions that'll kind of help you write down everything you want. But in the beginning, there are things that you want, that you used to not have a problem with it. So as an example, most of us, right? Let's say if you were 10 years old, 12 years old, going into 15, 16, you weren't going to think that you were going to struggle this much with marriage, and it wasn't going to be that big of a struggle. You're just like, okay, it's just part of life. When I grow up, I'm going to get married. Right? Most of us think this way. It wasn't until you saw evidence of either people around you saying really scary stories about marriage, or you hearing things, or you seeing things, or you observing however your brain observed, or you even experienced, or something that happened, that your brain came up with a story that made it feel like this thing is too big for you, like this thing is too big, kind of not going to happen for you. And this is like, I'm trying to simplify it, but it shows up in so many different ways of some sort of resistance of why this thing that you want is not going to happen for you. And it kind of just sits in your subconscious mind. You want marriage, but look at all these obstacles that in your way that people, when you get married, you're gonna, lose yourself. You're gonna do this. You're gonna do that. All of those thoughts come up, and it's just kind of it dims the light of you actually wanting it. You do want it, but what I'm saying is it kind of makes it harder to access. So what I mean by that is, if let's say you really want to go get coffee, right, at your favorite coffee shop, you want to go get nice, put on a cute outfit, go to the coffee shop, get some coffee, and it's just like a beautiful experience, right? You have no trouble knowing that it's going to happen. You're like, you don't even make dua. You're just like, I'm just gonna go, and it's gonna get done, and it's because it's so simple, it's so easy, right? But when it comes to like something like marriage, we're like, yeah, Allah, please make it happen. This is the most impossible thing in the world, and I don't know how it's gonna happen, and just our brain has this really dramatic story about it that feels heavier than going out to get coffee. And this is the assumption here is that there are things that are small and big, right? Coffee is something small, right? It's easy. It's very simple. It's like, of course, I just go walk and get coffee. It's so easy, right? And marriage is something much bigger, and it's such a more serious thing. What that assumption is saying is that there are things that are too big or too small for Allah. And that is the problem. That is a huge problem, because when you think things are, you know, going to coffee is it's just a simple thing. What you're kind of saying is, I don't really need Allah. I can just go and get coffee. I can just go walk and get coffee. Your subconscious mind assumes that you only need Allah for bigger things, like for marriage. But the problem with that is that means you think you're the one making things work, when it comes to going to get coffee. You're the one in power. You're the one, you know, making it all work, and you think it's just easy. The problem here is when we think that, we remove God from the equation from our daily life, right? We've depended on ourselves. So how does that translate in terms of marriage? We start thinking, I have to like perfectly heal one, two, three, do these things, shift all the stuff that, Lema keeps talking about, and like do all the healing all in, and like so that I can make it work. There's so much to work on. There's so much to shift. And you put this pressure on yourself because you think you're the one doing it. You think you're the one making it work. You think you're the one going to the coffee store and coffee shop, and figuring it out and getting a coffee. All of that was risk from the very beginning. Allah will not. How do I even like explain this? Yeah, I want you to imagine Allah's the electrical current that makes everything run. So when you have a thought, a desire, I want to go get coffee, and immediately Allah gives you the will, like He puts that like that. I want to imagine like electricity in your body, the will to actually stand up, to actually walk, to go to the coffee shop, to actually have the money to pay for it, to pick it up. All of that is 100% Allah. And it's an illusion that you think you're the one doing it. When we take action, we think we're the ones taking it. We think we're the ones like, I'm the one doing all of it. No, you're not. Allah is doing all of it. And this is really deep. It can get a little too meta for a minute, but I'll try to keep it simple. We take action because we believe Allah's the one doing it, we don't take action because I'm gonna get it. I don't know if that made sense. Um, when we ask for risk, right? When we ask for money, where we want money, right? We go get the job and we go make, work and we get money. There are people who work 10 times more than you and they don't get the amount of money that you do, and there are people who are like, different cases get different scenarios and everyone gets different amounts of risk. All of that is facilitated by God. Okay, this is much more like complex than I want to kind of take a whole session to explain this, but I just kind of want to break this down for a minute, that nothing is too big or too small for Allah. Everything is possible for Allah. So the way you imagine how normal and easy it is to go to get a coffee, it is the same thing for marriage. But because you have so much resistance in like, but how, but where, but when, I don't know the steps, I don't know what to do, I don't know this, I don't know. Because of all of that, it gets so heavy and complicated that you think it's so big for Allah. It's such a big task for Allah. Um, okay. So I want to ask if everyone's on board with me. If you are, just kind of give me a thumbs up, or did I lose you guys? I just want to, I need to see reactions because it helps me see um, if you guys get it or if there's any questions on that part specifically. Mubina, we're going to stick to the topic of dua for today. I get it, but I don't believe it. Okay. Uh, Sayyida, if you could really quickly tell me what you don't believe, just so that it can help other people as well.
I mean, logically, I understand that, Lama, but in my heart, like, I think I haven't looked at things from that perspective. I know that Allah is all capable and He's doing everything, even the movement of my hands. But I mean, I don't feel that maybe, right?
Hmm.
And that's why I think, oh, like getting a man that I want is a huge thing, and the rest is like okay. For
Okay.
example, getting a coffee.
Yeah. Yeah. But here's the thing, right? Like, uh, when you make dua, let's say you want to get coffee and you don't even, let's say you don't even know where the coffee shop is, but you just met, like, you just kind of, everything starts unfolding naturally, right? Like, you
Mhm.
go to look at the maps and you look it up and all of that. Where do you think that power is coming from? That ability to do that? How is that happening?
Definitely, that's Allah Subhanahu wa Taala for sure.
Okay, okay. So now when it comes to asking for marriage and you're asking for it and then things come up, right? Like for example, watching my YouTube videos or learning more about relationships and all of that. How is that any different?
That isn't, but I think the pain point here is the struggle that, oh, like getting a coffee is easier. Like, Ya Allah, why is it so hard? And like the blame is on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, unfortunately, sometimes
Mhm,
in my head.
mhm,
Astaghfirullah al-azim. Like
mhm.
I say that, oh Ya Allah, why are you making it so easy, difficult?
Yeah,
So
but
that's
who do you see
there's a little
who's
bit resentment.
right? But do you see who's making it difficult?
It's me.
Yeah, but this is I don't think you see it yet. I think you're
I
saying it, but
don't.
you don't see it because the difficult part is, oh my God, this is difficult. Even just saying the words, this is difficult, is heavy. Like like that thought alone, this is so difficult. Imagine if I woke up and like, oh my God, it's so difficult to get coffee. I have to drive a whole 15 minutes to get there. It's so difficult. I don't know if I want to do this. It's just such a drag. You literally are dragged, and you're also like, thinking that Allah's the one making it difficult. That makes it even heavier.
And I would say that if it was at a 10 before, now it's at 3. So, Alhamdulillah, I am at a steady, calm place. But
Okay.
sometimes it will come up. Like some days are heavier than the others, but you can say the amount of times it comes up now, that has reduced a lot.
Okay,
So
good,
that
good.
shows progress.
Yes, exactly. So that's also another sign I wanted to say. When you make dua, it's not like a blank all or nothing. Like here you go. It's just like a magic lamp. It's things unfold naturally as a path. to showing you that you are getting closer. And
Mhm.
when we see it from that perspective, instead of, oh my God, nothing's happening and everything's a struggle, you're going to dismiss all the signs. You're going to
Yeah,
dismiss, you won't see how Allah's on your side trying to help you, but you're like choosing not to. Like, no, 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 I don't, like, it's not working. It's just so difficult. That doesn't mean that there have moments that are hard, right? It's kind of, it's harder sometimes to do a couple things, but that's part
Mhm.
of like Allah's doing it for you kind of thing. And things are naturally unfolding. Every little difficult moment is training you to get the dua that you want.
I agree. I agree. I hope that I see it all the time, but right now I don't see it all the time. Sometimes I see it, sometimes I don't, and that's totally fine.
That's fine. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And that's the training part, right? Like I'm training to
Mhm.
become a woman who sees, who trusts that Allah is with like on my side the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. Samira, go ahead.
Thank you so much for explaining that. I just had a quick question. You mentioned that it's an illusion that we think we're the ones doing it. Like Allah is doing everything. And then you said something and I was writing it, but I didn't catch the end and I really wanted to get that down. You mentioned that we take action because, and then I don't remember the second part. It was right before you were talking about Allah being like the currents.
Yes. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. So let's say I make dua that I want to get married and I believe it 100%. It's done. Okay. It's done. As a fact, it's done. What I'm imagining is there's like a kind of a red carpet rolled out for me that Allah has rolled out for me, and I'm just kind of wobbling on it, like because I'm just kind of like, let me figure this out. I'm going on it somewhere. So we are taking action, and we're taking action because I believe it's there. It's gonna happen. Allah's believing. Like I believe that Allah's gonna make it happen. So I take action from a place of like I'm being facilitated. So that's kind of the electrical current I'm saying. Like Allah's like making it happen, and I'm naturally things unfold, right? Like let's say I make dua, ya Allah, help me, with finding a spouse, and I go on YouTube and I find like a bunch of videos that explain my specific problem. Then I'm like, oh my God, and then I work on that, and then this and this, and the things like naturally unfold, and your blocks get like, the things that you were blocked in, like kind of open up and get unfolded. All of that is by the will of God.
Thank you.
Okay. Does that make okay, good. All right. Well, yeah, okay, now that we got that out of the way, even if you still are not fully on board, that's okay. I want you to just kind of put that to the side just for a minute. And I want you to just, if you can just agree with this one statement that nothing is too big or too small for Allah. He has the power to make it happen. Now, you might have thoughts like, but why isn't he doing it for me? Or why is this not happening for me now? Or all this. All of that, we're going to put that to the side for now. That is all resistance. That's called resistance. That's called like it's kind of like if we were to make dua to go get coffee, you're not gonna sit here and have a whole story about how it's not gonna happen. You're not like fighting about how, oh, but what if it doesn't happen and what if the store is closed and what if this, what if you're not thinking about that. You're just like, I'm gonna go get coffee. And I'm just gonna trust. And if I go to the coffee shop and it turns out to be closed because I didn't check the schedule, that doesn't mean I'm doomed for life. And this is an example I gave before. It's kind of like when a mom is pushing her son in the grocery store and the little kid sees the candy aisle and he's like, "Mom, mom, 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 I want candy. I want candy." And he screams and he shouts and this is and the mom's just pushing because she knows he didn't eat dinner yet. And then he just cries and we're past the aisle now and now the kid thinks he's never gonna get candy forever. Right? Because we're past that. We think we've missed the window. That's not how like this is not how that works. This is how we act though with Allah. The truth is we just because we think the way what we think that aisle that we miss is our age, right? Or whatever time that we think should have been done. But Allah has something so much greater for you. And he's pushing you to be formed in a certain way to be so much more like such a better fit for the thing that you want so that you can actually enjoy it the way that you're asking for it, right? If you want a fulfilling marriage and you're over here beating yourself up all day, that's going to be hard. It's going to be hard because you don't have like the emotional ability to kind of process your feelings and emotions and there's so much that goes into that. Anyway, So over time, we've had a bunch of wounds that our subconscious has kind of made meaning out of it. Okay, so if you haven't seen your dua answered at a very specific time, your kind of subconscious mind might have made it mean, oh, it means that I'm not loved, or it means that Allah doesn't actually, He doesn't listen to me, or I've been neglected, or Allah doesn't want me to be happy, Allah doesn't want me to have it, Allah wants me to suffer, Allah wants me, all these thoughts. Okay, I encourage you to write them down after the after this session. But for now, I'm going to focus on the more positive du'as for now. Just give me a minute. Tips for what we do when we try and it doesn't happen. How do we gather the courage and not get burnt out? Okay, so Dilara, I'm going to explain this for a minute, but the way du'a works is why do we even have this access to du'a? What is the point of du'a? Why do we exist in this world? Why are we here? We're here, the textbook answer, we're here to worship Allah. We're here to worship Allah. Okay, what does that mean? What does that practically look like? What are the ways of worshiping Allah? What does it mean to be a worshiper of Allah? We need to answer this because if we don't answer this, we're going to be stuck. So, the way we worship Allah, one of them is through asking your creator. You're here to be you're worshiping by asking Allah, by Ya Allah, this is by shukr, by asking, making dua, by there's so many ways that you worship Allah. It's not just this one way. So when we're here, our purpose is not to exactly get what we want right away. If that was our purpose, we're not living our purpose then, because we're not supposed to be getting things the way we want our way. But if you have a subconscious expectation that you are supposed to, which we do, right? We're all programmed to believe that we're supposed to be happy and get what we want. And the reality is it's not that way. We're going to be very disappointed and burnt out because your purpose has become to get what you want. And that's not our purpose. Your soul has a much, much, much bigger purpose. It's much bigger than what you think. And the purpose is like if you just sit for a minute and just reflect, am I really here just to get what I want? What is the actual purpose? Well, what happens when I don't get what I want? What am I supposed to do? What does worshiping Allah look like even when I don't get what I want? Maybe that looks like expressing the grief and the sadness to Him and continuing that relationship with Allah. So the way I like to think about it is we are here in this world to become the best version of ourselves, like as the character of the Prophet ﷺ. And that is our way of worshiping Allah, right? To develop yourself, to be able to respond in ways that when Allah gives you a circumstance, how do you choose to respond? Do I respond with self-pity and just like blaming myself and just beating myself up? Or do I respond in a way that I like? When I say I like as the character of Rasulullah SAW would respond. Okay? So there's that is kind of the purpose, right? And Dilara, for specifically this part, I do talk about it in the inner shift, the purpose part. I think it would help you with understanding like what do you do when things don't work out? And it's just understanding your purpose and rewiring your purpose so that that's the direction that you're going in. Okay. Do we access the replay as I can't stay? Yes, you will get the replay, inshallah. So and just to kind of quickly answer this, if when you don't get what you want, that just means Allah has a better time for you. And we have to believe that. Because any other thoughts that make it like, remember I was saying like how our brain likes to make meaning of things. Any other meaning of like, well, it's because you're not good enough, or oh, it's because you're not ready enough and prepared enough, and this is why you'll never get there. Those, if they feel really negative, you're gonna be burnt out. That's why. So it's kind of a quick summary of that. Alrighty, I'm gonna jump into the dua stuff. So at this We have to believe that Allah gives it to you at the perfect time, and it's not up to you when to decide that it is going to happen. We ask, but Allah's the one who decides it's going to happen. What's the wisdom behind that? There are certain tests that Allah's testing you with that you maybe be stuck in, that He is waiting on you to actually, get out of that. As an example, when I was on my marriage search, I would heavily, okay, do a lot of work on myself, read like so many books on marriage, understanding relationships, do so much deep healing inner work, all of that. And I was like so good at all of it, right? I understood everything, okay? That didn't do anything for me because turns out my test was I wasn't submitting to God. I was like holding on, thinking like I have to like continually trying to figure it out myself. I was so attached to figuring out, trying to figure it out that I missed the whole point of this test, which was how to let go and let God actually, how to let go and trust God's timing. I was so attached to how to get there, and so the whole surrendering thing was my test. And for every person, it's different here. For every person, it's different. This is why you have to kind of tune in and understand what your test is. But I mentioned this before, but a week before I met my husband, that's what happened. Like I realized, oh, I didn't surrender. This is my problem. This is my problem. I haven't surrendered. I've been constantly trying to fix myself, thinking that I'm the one, if I fix it, then I'm going to do it, thinking I'm the one who has power to get it done. And so, again, surrender was my test. For some of you, it's different. For some of you, it might be, actually believing that God loves you and that He will do anything for you, or, do everything for you. Whatever it is, it's different for everyone. So that's kind of a question you want to ask yourself. What is it that I think Allah is testing me in? And from love. And you really just have to listen to that. Listen to what comes up. And if it doesn't come up right away, don't panic. Take some time with it. What is it that I think I need to work on that I'm really struggling with? Okay. Alrighty. Now let's work on our du'as. I know I said this multiple times, but let's do this. Okay. So there's going to be a couple areas that I want to work on. We're going to work on our relationship with Allah. We're going to create du'as with that. We're going to create, and that includes like the salah, the sincerity, the du'a. The next category is career, like money, wealth, rizq. The third category is health, energy. The fourth one is experiences, like things you want to experience, either like you want to go on trips or whatever you want to experience. The fifth one I've left for marriage, because that's what we're about here, right? So marriage, what kind of relationship you want? I want like all the du'as of marriage. We're gonna create that. So this is what I want you all to like. Don't just listen to me. I want you to actually take out a piece of paper and we're gonna do this because you're gonna take this out on the last 10 days. You're gonna read them every day. Okay, all of it. You're just gonna make dua. So let's start with the first one. Your relationship with Allah. When I ask this, how do you want to be as a worshiper? How do you want to be as a Muslim? I want to be someone, Ya Allah, I want to be someone where I'm super sincere in my dua. I want to be someone who when I pray my salah, I'm not distracted. I'm so distracted, Ya Allah. I want to be someone who has so much more focus. I want my relationship with you, Ya Allah. I want it to be as if I'm talking to my best friend all the time. I want it to be like when I'm going out about my day and something happens, I just want to like look at Allah and be like, Allah, did you just look what just happened? And I want that kind of closeness to Allah. I want to see, like, I want to feel that Allah is always with me and I want to be aware of it at all times. I know that feels so like so far off because we're so distracted, but that's the kind of dua I want to make. So I'm gonna give like 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and just jot down everything you want to think, you want to experience with your relationship with Allah. What is that like? I want to pray on time too. That one's hard. And just a side note, this is separate from the like kind of regular du'as we make. Ya Allah, um, you know, أقنا من عذاب النار and all of that is already gonna happen. This is more like the personal, like what you really, really want. So that's what I'm kind of looking for, what your soul desires. I really want a better relationship with Allah. I really feel disconnected. I want this, I want this. And that's what I'm looking for. Okay, so let's do the next category, inshallah. And if you haven't finished, don't worry. Just leave some space open for you to keep writing. Um, but just to kind of jot down the first thoughts that come up for you. Next one is career or money or wealth or risk. It's kind of in the same category. Um, give some examples. It really helps. Okay, yeah. So for career, right? Let's say you're in a job that you really don't like. You're like, ya Allah, I really want a better job and this, that, like whatever kind of job you want, a really fulfilling job. Give me a really, really fulfilling job that I love, that I'm like, that creates an impact the way that I want, all of that. You want to kind of talk about that. And in terms of risk and money and wealth, you want to just say like this, Ya Allah, increase my wealth and make it like tenfold of what I'm making right now. Okay. I know it sounds impossible or it sounds unrealistic, but you want it, you want to make du'as that like actually like you, this is what I want. And take away anything that feels like you're so delusional, anything like that. Just write down what you want. And we'll deal with the drama later. Just write it down. And it helps. I mean, I like to do specific amounts of wealth and stuff like that, but you don't have to. You can do whatever feels better to you. Okay, now let's let's do the next one. Next one is going to be health and energy. This is physical health, this is emotional health, this is, your strength, your all the healths in terms of like your body and your brain. So physical health, right? When do I make for physical health? Because I get a lot of like really intense back pain and I have sometimes energy is hard for me. Okay, I don't know what it is. But I'm going to make a lot of dua for physical health, emotional health, make me so much stronger in my emotional health. Ya Allah, give me the emotional intelligence of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Give me really high emotional intelligence. Let me be really emotionally and mentally stable and let me, learn about myself and this and that. Like this, just write down all that stuff. What do you really want? What kind of person are you and from an energy like health perspective? Like imagine that character. What is she like? And maybe I should have mentioned this in the beginning, but imagine all of this as a new character you're building. Like, ya Allah, I want to be this kind of character where this character, she just has so much energy and she's like, she gets up and she works out and she does this, she does that. In her physical health, she takes care of herself. She eats really well. And she makes good money and she loves her career and her relationship with Allah is like she always thinks of Allah the first thing she wakes up. That's how she is. Like create that image. That's what I want you to think about. Okay. I'll give you a little more time actually. Take your time with this one. And with the health and energy one, I always say like, "Ya Allah, with my age, make me even more energetic. Give me more energy the more I age, and make me even better than when I was in my 20s. Like just give me more energy. Alhamdulillah. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's move on. I said experience. I want to do image first. Okay, I'm going to talk about image for a minute. So this is your relationship with image. What I mean by image is your self-image. So how you see yourself, how others see you. Write down a dua that like with that. Okay, I want to see myself as someone who's really like impactful and I touch people's hearts and I want people I want to leave people better than I found them. That's the kind of image I want to have of myself. And I want when I die, I want people to think that I actually, left this world in a better way. So maybe like when I say image, how you show up, the impact you leave, the contribution that you have, stuff like that. Just if you don't understand what I'm saying, just write down what comes to your mind. Trust your gut. An image could also mean like how I look, right? How I show up, how I wear my hijab. I want my hijab. I like to wear my hijab a certain way and I want to, have a nice this and I want to feel beautiful the way that Allah loves to see me that way and everything. Just write it all down. And I want nice skin and I want this and I want that and I want that, all of it. Okay. At the end, we're gonna do a visualization. So make sure you stay on. I'll try to keep it within the hour for people who have to go. Um, okay, so we're done with image, how you show up. Again, keep thinking about it, but like it's more of the character that you've developed, right? How does she show up? How does she get dressed? How is her closet like? Is it filled with clutter? Does she have like really intentional pieces in her closet and like really special abayas and stuff, whatever, right? Just come up with a story. Um, Experiences. So this is experiences. It could be I want to experience going to Japan on a cruise in Japan with my husband, and I want like this, that. Okay. All experiences, like, and I want to go here and I want to go here. Kind of like a nice little bucket list of experiences. Remember, there's no limits. Do say what you want to say. Yeah, you can include it with the husband, Laura. You can say what you want. Like I want to go here with my husband, or this. I just want to experience this. I want to experience what it's like. I don't know, to hold a baby, hold my own baby, something like that. Like whatever it is for you. Okay, next one. So this one is relationships, marriage. So what kind of relationship is this character that you have? What is her marriage like? What is her marriage like? When she thinks of her marriage, does she think like does she just giggle on the inside? She's like, "Ah, I have a husband and I'm fulfilled and I feel I feel happy. I feel like I have someone I can love. I feels what is that relationship like?" And I encourage you not to write like negatives. Like I don't want you to say I don't want him to be broke. Just say I and we have a lot of wealth. Okay? Don't say I don't want him. Say and this is what our marriage is like. And it's just express it all in like what you want instead of what you don't want. Okay, give me a thumbs up when you guys are done. Honestly. I love how you guys are taking your time with this one. That's right. This one's a good one. Yeah, I told you guys about that, 5-page assignment that I told you guys to do about your dream spouse. This one should be it, but this one's more of a summary, but like that would also help if you did that. Alrighty, I think it's I don't know if you guys are done or not. I need all of your cameras are off, so I can't see except for Samira. Okay. All right. So now we're gonna do a visualization of all of this. Now, there's also more things you want to add to your list in other categories, whatever it is. Like I want, whatever it is you're struggling with specifically, like, you write that down in a more positive note, right? So, what I mean by that is like, let's say if I have like a lot of back pain, I'm gonna say, yeah, Allah, give me a really strong back, or like give me a body that has so much energy, something like that. So you don't want to put like, "Yalla, don't make me broke anymore," stuff like that. You don't want to. I'm saying say it more in positive. The reason I'm saying that's because it has a positive thoughts like that have a deeper impact on your subconscious mind. You kind of tell it what to think. So when you say positive things, it kind of looks for it. All right. So for the visualization, I want